So I am going to explain about the balanced modulator. So my question is, read about the balanced modulator and explain it, including what happens when the balanced modulator becomes imbalanced. So here I have already drawn the block diagram of the balanced modulator. It consists of a modulating signal and a phase shifter, 180-degree phase shifter, and two identical amplitude modulators and a carrier signal Ct given by AC cos omega Ct, and Yt is the output of the balanced modulator. So here the first amplitude modulator is fed by Mt, which is the modulating signal, and Ct, the carrier signal, and the second amplitude modulator is fed by the modulating signal with 180-degree phase shift, that is minus Mt, and carrier signal Ct. So here if mu is the modulation factor of both the amplitude modulators, then we get y1t as AC times 1 plus mu Mt, the modulating signal, and cos omega Ct. Similarly, we can write y2t as AC times 1 mu. Now this will also be multiplied by the other input of the second amplitude modulator, which is minus Mt. So here it is minus mu Mt times cos omega Ct. Now here Yt is obtained by using this summer, so we can write Yt equals y1t minus y2t, which is AC 1 plus mu Mt cos omega Ct minus y2t, that is AC 1 minus mu Mt cos omega Ct. So this will expand to AC cos omega Ct plus AC mu Mt cos omega Ct minus AC cos omega Ct plus AC mu Mt cos omega Ct. Now here notice that this term is our carrier signal and this term also is our carrier signal, and since these are the same, they cancel out, so we are left with Yt equals 2 times mu AC Mt cos omega Ct. This is the output of the balanced modulator, where nu is the modulating factor of the amplitude modulators. Now this is balanced because in each of the half cycles the outputs are symmetrical but inverted. So if let's say I have a carrier signal as a triangular wave, something like this. This is my Ct, and I have Mt as a sine wave. So the output of my balanced modulator should be something like Yt t. Now here for this half cycle and this half cycle, the outputs are symmetrical but inverted. So this is the case of the balanced modulator. So what happens when the modulator is imbalanced? So in the balanced modulator we have symmetrical, or let's say the two amplitude modulators are identical. So their modulation factors are nu and nu. But the modulator will become imbalanced if they are not identical, and let's say we have some modulation factors of nu1 and nu2. Now, since the modulation factors are different, so for different half cycles, the outputs will not be symmetrical because their magnitudes will differ by the ratio of nu2 and nu1. And also in extreme cases, let's say nu2 greater than nu1, then in one of the output cycles, one of the half cycles, there will be no output. So for example, for the same carrier signal and the same modulator signal, if we consider the extreme case, our output would become something like So we have the expected output for one half cycle, but we get no output for the other half cycle. So that is the case of the imbalanced modulator. Also in the balanced modulator, if you pass the output to a band pass filter, so the spectrum of the output after passing through the band pass filter will be symmetrical about the carrier frequency, and the bandwidth will be 2 times FM, where FM is the frequency of the modulating signal. So that is also another meaning of the balanced modulator, the term balance in the balanced modulator, because the bandwidth is symmetrical about the carrier signal. But this does not happen in the imbalanced modulator. So thank you.